name is Sid, and today I'm going to introduce you to Macrovue, where we help you invest in the world of ideas. Now, as an investor, you might read something in the paper which talks about the growing demand for luxury goods in China. Or you might read about how the Internet of Things is the next big thing in technology. Or you might read about how medical device manufacturers are about to make a killing because of the growing number of hospitals in Asia. And you might take a step back and think, oh, that's a really good idea. I'd like to invest in that idea. But if you're a retail investor and you want to invest in these global ideas, it can be really quite hard for you. Let me give you an example of why. So let's take the luxury goods basket, for example. Now, one logical place to start to think about investing in that idea would be to think about, okay, what brands are associated with luxury goods? You could look through your wife's shopping wish list, find a few brands, and create a list of brands that are in this theme. The next thing that you could do is spend a lot of time doing research, find a list of companies which are associated with these brands, and these might be companies which are all over the world, and you come up with a list of maybe 80, 100 companies which are associated with this theme. Okay, now you've got a list of stocks. You have to decide which one to buy. These are international stocks. You have to do the analysis. You have to figure out profitability, valuation. Which one am I actually going to pick? And that can be quite hard for a retail investor. Most of them don't have the tools to do this. Okay, say you manage to actually figure out which stocks you're going to pick. Then you have to worry about the transaction. You have to worry about FX costs, about dividends, about taxes. How's that going to work? And you go to your broker, and then you actually have to make the transaction. If you buy a US-based stock at Comsec, for example, it's $65. For a European stock, it's about $130. So the whole process is quite prohibitive, and it's quite hard for retail investors to invest in global themes. And that can be easily reflected in the numbers. So if you look at one bucket of self-directed investors, just the SMSF bucket, there's about $550 billion which is in the SMSF bucket. Only 0.4% of that is invested in international shares. So, and most of it is sitting in cash or domestic equities. So it's hard for retail investors to invest, but we've come up with a solution to this problem. You can log on to the Macrovue website, and how it works is we've created these portfolios of stocks which are related to themes, and we call them views. So the luxury goods example I gave you earlier, we have a dream up theme for that. We have an Internet of Things, Asian healthcare, a long-term agricultural play. So different views related to themes. We go through a rigorous research process, and what we do is we find 10 stocks related to a particular theme. And these might be stocks located all over the world. We're quite different from an ETF in that you're actually owning the individual stocks. So you can remove stocks from the list. You can add stocks. You have a choice of up to 20,000 stocks you can add from in our list. Then you can just click a button. You can decide how much money you want to allocate to it, and you can just buy the whole basket of stocks. You don't have to worry about FX or any of those other complications. We're also looking to make the process quite engaging. So if you don't find the theme that you're looking for, you can actually create your own view. You can share it with your friends, or you can share it with the whole world. And if other people invest in your view, they see that it's performing well, then they can earn a fee on that. So you can actually become like a mini hedge fund manager. If you ever wanted to do that. So we're really trying to make the process quite engaging and easy for investors to invest in these global thematic ideas. In terms of the market that we're targeting, there's about 6 million direct share owners in Australia, according to an ASX research study. And we've broken them down into 3 buckets. There's the do-it-for-me segment, which is about 3 million people, and they don't really want to be involved in the decision-making process. They're happy to give it to the experts and just let somebody else do it. There's the let me do it segment, which make about 1.5 million, and they're really involved in the process, and they want to make all the decisions themselves. And there's about 1.3 million who are the help me do it segment. Now what they are doing is they are really keen to learn more about the market. They have some knowledge, and they're making about 14 trades a year of about $12,000 each. So that's our sweet spot. That's the market we're going after, because we're helping this segment with research and really making it easy for the people who are looking to get into investing. Quite different from the competition. Like I mentioned, we're different from an ETF in that you own the individual shares. The dividends flow directly to you. We're also different in that we offer thematic portfolios. A lot of the ETFs don't offer thematic portfolios, or if they do, they're often several years late to the game. Quite different from the current brokerages that exist. I'm just going to go through our pricing with you, and if you were to do the same transaction on ComSec, for example, it would cost you 10 times as much. Yes, I said 10 times. We're similar to a US-based site called Motif Investing, and they've done quite well. They've raised about $95 million in funding. They've got 80,000 users, and so the idea has been validated, and it kind of works. They have no plans to come to Australia, and so we're bringing this product to Australia. And quite different from managed funds in that we're targeting self-directed investors who are looking to get involved in the decision-making process. One $10,000 portfolio will cost you about $149 in terms of the transaction costs, and that includes everything, including the FX transaction costs and the brokerage. For transactions above $10,000, it'll be 50 basis points on the incremental difference above that. In addition, we are going to be charging a $20 platform fee, and that gives you access to all our research, and we're constantly coming up with new themes and ideas. We have a 3-pronged strategy to go to the market. Currently, we are testing out a product with a few sophisticated investors to make sure we're meeting their needs, getting feedback. And the next stage is we are trying to target existing financial services businesses. We're trying to establish relationships with them. We realize that trust is a really important thing in this business, so we want to go with trusted financial services providers, and we want to establish joint labeling, white labeling type of relationships with those providers so that they can provide this to their clients. And once we build a bit of brand equity, then the next stage would be to go directly to the market and target existing online brokerage customers. Right now, what's keeping us busy is we're onboarding a few sophisticated investors, like I said. We're in the midst of a fundraising round, and we're also looking to establish relationships with distribution networks. So if you are interested in any of the 3 things that we're up to, so please get in touch with me. A little bit about myself. Like I mentioned, my name is Sid. Most of my work experience is from the US. I did a master's in math finance at Carnegie Mellon, and I worked as a quant analyst at Bank of America Merrill Lynch in New York for several years. And after that, I have done a PhD in finance recently, and I was a lecturer for investments for a couple of years. My partner, Dave Sinha, he's our Chief Investment Officer. He has a background from the US as well. He was an equity research analyst for large cap equities at Putnam Investments, one of the largest fund managers in the US. And the last few years, he's been an equity research analyst for Asian equities at BAML as well. We have a development team based in Sydney who's worked really hard to get a product up to speed in just a few months. So that's Macrovue. We are making it easy for Australian self-directed investors to invest in global teams by giving them institutional quality research and making it easy for them to do their transactions. Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions.